There will be no arm breaks shown in this video. I've been a competitive arm wrestler for many years, and what I am going to do is explain why both of the people in this image are in what we call the break arm position and how you can avoid it. There's a reason why these two competitors who train to be as strong as physically possible in arm wrestling can do it safely, but amateurs break their arm. Most people at the start of an arm wrestling match are going to intuitively have their arm and hand in front of their body, and that's fine. The problem occurs when you turn your shoulder so that your arm and hand are now outside of your body. Let me give you a demonstration here. Look how much range of motion my arm has when it is in front of my body. And now watch what happens when my arm and hand end up outside of my body because I turn my shoulder. Nothing. When you're at the end of your range of motion and applying maximum effort, it's no surprise when things go south, and it takes a lot less pressure than you think. Going back to our still image here from the professionals, look at both athletes. No one is turning their shoulder away from their arm. Even Krasimir on the right is in a losing position, but he still has his hand in front of his body. Contrast that with Adin's security guard, and you can see his elbow is turned way out to the side, and he's applying as much sideways force as he can. The competitor in the white is also in a break arm position. Had he turned his shoulder a little more and applied a little more force, he could have ended up in the same situation. A good way to think of arm wrestling is a tug of war forward and backward. You want to bring your opponent close to you. You don't just want to go sideways. That's how injuries happen. Arm wrestling can be a fun and rewarding and safe sport, as long as you take the time to learn the technique, do it properly, and give your bones, muscle, and connective tissue time to adapt and get strong. If you let your ego get the best of you and just want to win at all costs, that's where problems happen, that's where injuries happen, and that's why the sport can get a bad reputation and people expect the worst anytime they see some arm wrestling footage. Again, here's another good freeze frame. Both of these athletes are ridiculously strong and train night and day for one thing: arm wrestling. And yet you can see both of their hands are within their body, no one's turning their shoulder out of position, and that's how they avoid injuries. A good rule for new arm wrestlers is to always face your hand. If you're in a neutral position, face your hand. If you're in a losing position, turn and face your hand. If you're in a winning position, turn, face your hand. The competitor on the left here, Yevgeny Prudnik, is about to lose this round. Now he could turn his shoulder and try desperately to get back in the match, but watch what he does instead. His hand is inside of his body, he gives it one last effort, it's not going, so he's facing his hand and takes the loss, moves on to the next round. With amateur arm wrestling videos, we see two problems. When someone's close to winning, they completely break form and try to win, like the gentleman in the black, or when they're losing, they refuse to lose and fight until something goes wrong. And frankly, the gentleman in the white is really close to it. Look, even when everything's done correctly, freak injuries can happen in any sport. I've been arm wrestling a long time, and I've probably seen just as many injuries on the pickup basketball court as I have on the arm wrestling table. And that's because when you're new to arm wrestling, you want to get together with a group who will teach you the proper technique and how to train safely. To that end, I hope you learned something from this video about arm wrestling. I hope you learned that arm wrestling can be safe, and I hope you learned why those kinds of injuries happen. I also hope I got you interested in arm wrestling as a sport. If I did, you can check the rest of my channel here. I have a bunch of explainer videos, and you can check out the subreddit. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.